Hi guys, it's Cameron from the Mighty Blues. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to the game preview for Brighton and Hove Albion versus Everton tomorrow at the Amex Stadium at 3 o'clock. Another massive game for Marco Silva. Another big 3 points needed. Marco Silva had his pre-game press conference yesterday. He went through the injury news. He went through some talk about Yerry Mina, Lucas Dean as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that in this preview. I'm just going to tweet the stream out so everybody over on Twitter knows that we are live, so we can get as many people in as possible. I just want to say a big massive thank you for all the support on the recent videos. I mean, the Tottenham instant match reaction, not the Tottenham instant match reaction, sorry, the Burnley instant match reaction got nearly 1,000 views, and the live review to the Burnley game got nearly 750 as well. So thank you very much for all of the support on that. It's absolutely unbelievable. I can't even begin to imagine that me videos would hit that many views, and especially, you know, the ones talking about the game and what a game it was. By the way, we'll briefly talk about Burnley, of course. What a fantastic game of football. What a fantastic result for the Blues. That was exactly what we needed after the Spurs beating. That was exactly the type of performance that us as fans needed from the lads to bounce back and to really get our spirits back up. Because look, you know, we've had some tough games in December. We've had a pretty poor month. Obviously, we've had the derby to start with. That wasn't fantastic. We then had the Manchester City game as well, where we weren't particularly great. We had the massive beating from Spurs. We had the couple of poor performances against Newcastle and Watford in between as well. So we really needed a massive result on Boxing Day against Burnley away from home. It was going to be a tough game. You know, they're a team that are looking for a win as well in the bottom three. So we needed to put on a performance, and we did. We absolutely walked through Burnley, and you know, we need to do the same against Brighton, because look, it's really important. I've got it written down here and some of my notes that we get this 3 points against Brighton, because you know, it's quite evident after the Tottenham defeat that the next 3 games for Marco Silva, we needed to get 9 points from them. You know, we would play Burnley, Brighton and Leicester at home on New Year's Day, and we needed to get 9 points out of them games in order to go into the new year on a good run of form, because the performances haven't been good enough recently, certainly not in December. They just haven't been good enough. Obviously, we got the 3 points against Spurs, absolutely. Spurs, why do I keep saying Spurs? We got the 3 points against Burnley, absolutely fantastic performance, and you know, what a result that was. If we can do anything similar to that against Brighton tomorrow and then against Leicester on New Year's Day, then it'll be absolutely fantastic. I don't expect us to go out and beat Brighton 5-1. I don't expect us to go out and beat Leicester 5-1. But if we can get the 3 points, then that's all that matters. Like I say, I'm still in the boat of that, yeah. It's absolutely amazing to see us score 5 goals away from home and to win a game that easily and to score 3 goals in the first 22 minutes. But if it comes off Niasi's arse and goes in the 90th minute and that gets us the 3 points, you know, okay, you might say, well, we weren't great and we probably didn't deserve it, but it's 3 points and we really need 6 out of the next 6. So that's massively important for me. John says, Happy New Year, pal. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too, and Happy New Year to everybody watching as well, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching as a video afterwards. I hope you all have a fantastic New Year. I hope your Christmas was brilliant. I hope your Boxing Day was fantastic. If you're an Everton fan, I dare say it was, but I hope your New Year is really good as well. So we'll talk a little bit about Brighton first. We'll switch it up. We usually wait until later on in the preview to talk about the opposition team, but we'll talk about them first. Obviously, we last played Brighton literally a couple of months ago. It was the game where Richarlison scored the 2 goals, you know, the fantastic counter-attacking breakaway finish that he scored, and then the one where he took it past Shane Duffy and absolutely left him in the shop, rounded the keeper and slotted. Probably our best game at home this season, our best performance at home this season. A lot of fans, including myself, had it down as our best performance, you know, overall all season. The Burnley performance was probably beating that now, but I still think the Brighton performance was definitely one of our best, and like I said, probably our best performance at home. Certainly the game that we dominated the most, and the game that we took all of our chances and we really breezed past. Like I said, the Burnley result and the Burnley performance probably overdoes that now, because 5-1 away from home, not many performances are going to beat that. But like I said, the Brighton performance was a fantastic performance. You know, we scored 3 goals at home. We conceded a sloppy one a little bit like in the weekend against Burnley, but you know, we had Richarlison on fire. The first goal we scored was magnificent. The third goal obviously was prime Richarlison, you know, taking it past the defender, knocking it past the defender, and then running around in the keeper, which is absolutely fantastic as well. So it wasn't so long ago that we played Brighton. It wasn't. I've got their record down since Everton played them. So they're currently 13th in the Premier League. They've won 6, drawn 4, and lost 9. They've actually, since we last played them, they've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 4 since the last fixture. Like I said, the 3-1 victory at Goodison Park. And for me, there's some really important results in Brighton's last sort of 10 fixtures, 7 fixtures for me. You know, you're looking at, they lost to Burnley, they've lost to Bournemouth as well. So I think it's important that we understand that although Brighton are, you know, doing well in themselves this season, you know, they're currently sitting in 13th position for the team that have only recently been promoted to this league, for the team that, you know, aren't used to, I don't want to disrespect and say aren't used to being in this league, but, you know, they've only recently come into the Premier League. They're doing quite well for themselves. You know, they're 13th in the league, they're in a comfortable position. They're probably not going to get relegated because the teams below them are much worse. They mightn't break into the top 10, who knows, but they're in a comfortable position. But like I said, their previous results in the last few weeks haven't been fantastic. Obviously, they did get an all-important draw last time out against Arsenal, which was, you know, a fantastic result, something that we didn't manage to do. So it's important to understand that Brighton have got some good players, and Brighton are, you know, a good strong team, especially at the Amex Stadium as well. You know, Brighton are a team that definitely can hurt us. They've got 2 massive centre-halves in Lewis Dunk and Shane Duffy, of course, and then they've got some good players in attack. You know, Glenn Murray, who's a proven goal scorer. I'm not sure whether he's fit, but he can put the ball in the back of the net against anyone, and they've got players to hurt us on the attack. So it's important that we go out and we, you know, we settle for this game to defend well and then to take our chances exactly like we did against Burnley. I think that the key thing I took from the Burnley game is that, you know, we set up with a 5 at the back, but we set up positively, and the chances we created, we took, which is something that, you know, we haven't been able to say a lot this season. We haven't been able to sit here and say, you know what, we took all of our chances there today, and that's why we won the game. Like I tweeted out just after the Burnley game, we had 6 shots on target and scored 5. That's what happens when you take your chances. You know, you score goals, you score an amount of goals like 5 away from home, and you do yourself justice for the way you played, and we haven't done that enough this season for me. You look at the Arsenal game, you look at the United game, even the Liverpool game, the chances we created, we haven't scored, and in not doing that, the results have gone against us, and we can only, you know, have ourselves to blame. But we didn't let that happen against Burnley. John says, never right of Brighton, they're a good side when they want to be. Exactly, Brighton can turn it on against anybody. We've seen them against Manchester United this season. Obviously, we've seen them last time out against Arsenal as well, getting results there, getting points there. Like I said, it's easy to look at it and go, well, 2 months ago we turned them over at Goodison, and, you know, we have Richarlison playing absolutely fantastic. You know, the counter-attacking football, we done them, you know, once on the counter-attack and then once with a sloppy pass, easy win. It's not like that. It's away from home. It's going to be a lot more different, and it's going to be difficult. But for me, I personally think we've been better away from home this season. I really do. I think the form away from home, I think Bernard away from home has been a lot better. You know, you've seen him in the Leicester game, absolutely fantastic. The Burnley game on Boxing Night, it was probably his best performance in an Everton shirt. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I thought he ran the game from start until the point he got taken off. So I think we are performing better away from home. But, you know, whether we're performing better or not, whether, you know, Richarlison will start, whether Bernard will start, we'll go over my predicted starting 11 in just a minute. It's irregardless, we need the 3 points. And like I said, if we don't get the 3 points tomorrow, it makes the Burnley result seem a lot less satisfying, because if we go out tomorrow and we get beat, people automatically start thinking the Burnley result was just a one-off. You know, we played the team in the relegation zone who were really poor, so that was a one-off. You can't take much off that, because we've just been playing a team that are, you know, in and around 10th to 15th position in the Premier League, doing okay for themselves, and we've been beaten. So it's really important that we get the 3 points in this game and against Leicester at home. Don't get me wrong, I think Leicester will be a harder game, just because of their results recently. You know, you look, they're beating Manchester City, they're beating Chelsea in the last couple of weeks. Leicester are a very, very good side as well. We played them on New Year's Day at home, but like I said, for me, we said it in the last video, we said it in the review to the Burnley game, we said it in the preview to the Burnley game, it's 9 points out of them, you know, 3 games that we had. We've got 3 against Burnley, and we've done it in emphatic fashion. If we can get another 3 tomorrow against Brighton, it sets us up nicely for New Year's Day to go out and Goodison Park and get the final 3, and then start the new year right and start in a good run of form. Because, you know, December probably was just a little bit of an off month for us. You know, it was just a dip in form, and I can understand that. But for Marco Silva and the lads to prove that that was a dip in form and that wasn't an issue, because look, there was a lot of people after the, you know, the Spurs game, a lot of people after the City game saying, you know what, this is awful. You know, there was even some saying Marco Silva out, the tactics aren't right. For Marco Silva to prove that that was just a dip in form, he needs to be able to go and get the you know, 3 points out of the next 2 games, 6 points out of the next 2 games, 3 points in each game, and then we can say, yeah, that was just a poor month, that was just a dip in form. Look, we're right back on track. Now, if we go and get beat against Brighton tomorrow, then there will still be them questions creeping in, and you know what? That's fair enough, because you probably could look at the Burnley game and go, we were playing a poor opposition. Don't take much out of that. We've just been playing an opposition that are supposedly worse than us, that we turned over at home and being beat, if that happens. But I don't think that'll happen. I think we'll win tomorrow. I do. I don't know whether it'll be comfortable. I don't know whether it'll be like Burnley, another 5-1, but I do think we'll win. Sam says, do you have an Instagram? I do, but it's a private account, so I'm not going to leak it. I am going to make an Instagram account for the Mighty Blues at some point. Just having, struggling with time, doing the channel and doing Twitter and stuff like that, so I want to focus mainly on them two, and then when I've got a little bit more time on my hands, I'll introduce an Instagram as well. John says Everton should be fighting to get Europa League. If Burnley can do it, then defo Everton can do it too. Yeah, definitely. I think the Europa League is one of them where a lot of people hum and hard about it. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. For me, I like the Europa League because you're in Europe. You go into these different countries. When we were in the Europa League last season and we had to play the qualifying rounds and we started playing football in July, I went to Croatia to watch us against Split. I watched us at home against Split, Lyon, all these teams like that. It's fantastic to go away to Europe and to watch Everton Football Club. It's fantastic to go away anywhere and watch your football club that you support. So for me, I'm a big believer in the Europa League. I really like the Europa League. I know some people don't, because the way it sets you up for the Premier League, you only have to look at Burnley, for example. This season, had a fantastic season last season, got into Europa League this season, struggled in the qualifiers, and now they're in the relegation zone and they're really, really struggling, and they might even go down, and that's what the Europa League can do to teams that haven't got the financial backing or the size of an Everton. But I think for me, if we get Europa League, we'll still be pretty safe in the Premier League. Our form might dip, we mightn't be as good as we have been this season, but it's important that we get European football, and at the minute the Champions League isn't a realistic goal for us, so we need to be looking at the Europa League, and I think we will finish in the Europa League spot this season. And if we don't, then obviously you're still looking, it's Marco Silva's first season, there's a lot of room for improvement, there's a lot more he can do with this squad, but realistically we should be aiming for that Europa League spot. So we'll go over my predicted starting 11 now. Why not speak about that while we are here? So I've gone for a similar starting 11, I suppose, to the one that beat Burnley. I've definitely gone for the same formation. I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal again, pretty self-explanatory. Seamus Coleman at right back, Luca Dean at left back. What a fantastic player, absolutely wonderful left back, just quality. And let's be honest, just absolutely quality. The performance against Burnley, every other performance this season for Lucas Dean has been absolutely fantastic. He's just an unbelievable player, and I'm so glad that he's ours. I've gone for the 3 centre backs, Yerry Mina, Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane. Again, I think they were all fantastic. Last time out against Burnley, specifically Yerry Mina, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Not just the goal, but every time the ball come into our box, he either dealt with it or he won a foul. Every time, he was in and around the opposition box, he was a threat as well. He was constantly putting them under pressure and constantly, making the referee make decisions by knocking into players. I'm not going to say throwing himself on the floor and diving, but, he was playing very tactically and he was playing very clever, and I like that, and I like that about Yerry Mina, so I think he definitely deserves to be in. Like I say, Michael Keane, another really, really strong performance after a couple of weeks that he struggled, come back in, and what a strong performance. And Kurt Zouma, again, you get what you get with Kurt Zouma. He's no nonsense, he's straight to the point, he's a fantastic centre-half, and for me, the 5 at the back worked that well against Burnley. I don't think Marco Silva will change it, and I mentioned in the Burnley review that don't be surprised if Marco Silva changes it, don't be surprised if we go back to a flat back 4, and you see maybe Mina taken out, maybe Zouma taken out, you see Gay come back in, you see maybe Davis come back in. Don't be surprised, because during this Christmas period where we play a lot of football, we've got a lot of games, Marco Silva is going to have to utilise his squad, and he is going to have to change things around a bit, because let's be honest, fitness is an issue. You'll see, we'll talk about my midfield that I've put up in just a second as well, but I've taken Andre Gomez out. That purely is a fitness thing for me, not because I don't think he played well against Burnley. I think he was absolutely fantastic. I think he's absolutely been fantastic in every game he's played for Everton, but for fitness, I think he should come out and have a rest. Like I said, don't be surprised if he goes to a flat back 4, but I think the 5 at the back, the 3 centre backs with Luca Dean, and Seamus Coleman playing as fullbacks worked so well against Burnley, and we absolutely destroyed Burnley with that. You just have to look at Lucas Dean getting man of the match and getting 2 goals, a free kick and a fantastic strike. Seamus Coleman playing a lot better than he has in recent weeks as well, to understand that really did work against a team like Burnley away from home. So, I think Marco Silva will more than likely go with the same formation, go with the same outlay, the same sort of skeleton, if you like, of a formation for the team. But like I said, don't be surprised if that's not the case. Don't be surprised if we see a flat back four. Don't be surprised if one of Mina, Zuma or Keane comes out to be rested, because Marco Silva might be looking to play a 5 at the back against Leicester at home and, go for a similar performance to the one that we had against Burnley. But anyway, that's the one I've gone for. I've gone for 5 at the back. I've gone for Gylfi Sigurdsson and Idrissa Gana Gueye in the centre of midfield. Like I mentioned there, I think Marco Silva may just rest Andre Gomes. I think he may take him out. To be honest, Andre Gomes has played a lot of football for Everton. I don't think he's been dropped since he made his debut against Crystal Palace. I think he's been absolutely fantastic in every game he's played since that day. But before that, he hadn't played football in 4 or 5 months. He hadn't played competitively. He struggled to get in the Barcelona team. He struggled with injury. So I think it's only going to come to the point where Andre Gomes needs to come out, and Andre Gomes needs a little bit of a rest. And if it's going to be any time, it is going to be during this period where there's a lot of football. And I think Andre Gomes is a key player to this squad now. He really is for me. Don't know whether I'm going out on a limb here, but he's probably our best player technically in terms of what he offers, in terms of his composure on the ball, his ability to just take the ball down and get past 3 or 4, even 5 men. So I think it is going to get to a point where he needs to come out and have a little bit of a rest, and I think Marco Silva will more than likely want him to play at home to Leicester on New Year's Day rather than away at Brighton in a game that we should really be winning. Idrissa Gana Gueye, of course, we've seen the impact that he had when he was taking out the team. 9 goals conceded in 2 games in the City and the Tottenham game. Obviously, I know he didn't play against Burnley and we scored 5, but I think Idrissa Gana Gueye, is a really important player to this squad, and he's going to have to come back in at some point as well, and I do think it will be this game. So I've gone for a front 3 then of Bernard on the left, Richarlison up front, and Ademola Lookman on the right. Now I suppose we'll start with the easiest one out of this front 3 that I've predicted. We'll start with Bernard. For me, Bernard was absolutely fantastic against Burnley. I thought he was my definite contender for man of the match. If Lucas Digne wasn't unbelievable and it wasn't a masterclass by Lucas Digne, Bernard would have probably gotten the man of the match award. But like I said, Lucas Digne was absolutely unbelievable. What a footballer. And I'm sorry that I'm just going on about Lucas Digne so much, but he is a quality footballer. But yeah, Bernard for me was absolutely fantastic against Burnley. Tore them apart. Obviously, he got the assist for Yerry Mina's goal. What a fantastic cross to set up Yerry Mina on a plate for him. He had his part in the second goal as well, the free kick, obviously turning on the halfway line, cutting a nice ball through to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was then fouled, and then Lucas Digne converted the free kick. But for me, Bernard was fantastic against Burnley. He was from start to the point he was taken off. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And like I said earlier on the stream, I think Bernard is a lot better away from home, and I think he benefits this team a lot more away from home. I don't know why. I don't know the reasons for that, but I just think that on the performances we've seen so far this season, Bernard seems to be, more up for it. He seems to be a lot better away from home than he is at Goodison Park. I don't know why that is, but Bernard starts on the left for me. We'll go with the other two. There's reasons as to why they might start, there's reasons as to why they won't. So I suppose we'll go with Richarlison next. Now, a lot of people will be saying, hang on, Cam, how hypocritical are you? You said, keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin in, give him 5 to 10 games, let him have his chance, let him prove himself. And I still totally agree with that. A lot of people will be saying, well, he hasn't played bad, so why have you took him out? For me, again, it's a similar situation to the Andre Gomes situation. Dom is going to need a rest at some point. For me, he's going to need a rest. I know he's a young lad, I know he's fit, but playing, however many it is, 3 games of football in 220 hours or something like that is a lot for anybody. It's a lot for any professional. It's a lot for any person. So for me, Dom is going to need a rest. Obviously, we've seen Richarlison get a rest against Burnley, come off the bench and scored that goal with, come off the bench with about 10-15 minutes to go. Scored the goal. For me, this is going to be the game that Dom comes out. I think he will return to the squad against Leicester, bearing that, Richarlison doesn't go on and score a hat-trick or score another 2 goals like he did in the home fixture. But I think Dom will be taken out, like I said, as a fitness worry, as let's bring him out, give him a little bit of time out the team, let him recoup his fitness, let him, build himself back up, and then we'll give him another stretch of games, maybe the start of January into January he can have a real stretch of games, 5 to 10, where there's we're not playing every other day and there's not a lot of pressure on him. So I do think Richarlison will come in and Dom will be dropped to the bench, just like I said, as a fitness issue. Maybe he won't, maybe he will. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're in the live comments, then let me know your thoughts there. If you're watching this as a YouTube video afterwards, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be replying to them all night as well. So finally, Finally, I've gone for Ademola Lookman on the right. Now, this might confuse a few people. Now, the reason this might confuse a few people is because Marco Silva in his pre-game press conference said that every single player is fit for this game, barring Ademola Lookman. He's got a little bit of a knock on his ankle. However, he said that he trained yesterday, and then he will assess him today. Hopefully, he's trained again today, and then, with the view for him being in the matchday squad. Marco Silva actually said with a view to him starting on Saturday. I don't know whether that's just, a little bit of misinterpretation, a little bit of maybe an accident that Marco Silva's let out that he didn't mean to. But for me, I think if Ademola Lookman is fit, he will come into this team. Don't get me wrong, I think Theo Walcott played okay against Burnley. I think he was probably, I don't want to be too critical and don't want to be too negative, but I think he was probably, the least impactful out of the Everton players, to say it nicely. And I think if Ademola Lookman is fit, and this is just a slight knock on his ankle, and he's trained for the last couple of days, and he's made the trip with the team, I think why not? Why not start him? Why not give him a chance? We've given Dominic Calvert-Lewin a chance now. He's proven that, he's playing really, really well for me. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again, even though he didn't bag himself a goal against Burnley, he was fantastic for me. His overall hold-up play, the way he can, pick the ball up and pass it on, the way he can, battle defenders and make defenders uncomfortable. For me, he's a fantastic striker, and I think it's about time we see the same with Ademola Lookman. I think it's about time Ademola Lookman gets a run of games. I think it's about time when he's fit, he comes in, Theo Walcott drops to the bench and he has a little bit of time out of the team, a little bit of time to recoup and get his fitness back, and Ademola Lookman gets his opportunity. But again, like I said, we'll have to see if he's fit, and we'll have to see whether Marco Silva decides to make that decision. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your predicted starting 11 as well. Who do you think will come in? Who do you think will start? John says you'll make 10.5 million if Everton did get it and get out of the group too. Yeah, I know the money isn't fantastic. I know 10.5 million is a lot of money, but in terms of, in a footballing sense, it's not that great of an amount. And I know, it's, there's negatives and positives about the Europa League. John's talking about the Europa League there. There's negatives and positives. The negatives are you end up having to play pretty much every Premier League game on a Sunday because you're playing the Europa League on a Thursday, and the fact that you get very little money. The positives are you're in Europe, you get to travel with your team, you get to watch your team in Europe, and you get an opportunity of playing in a European Cup final, which is a dream, let's be honest. But I don't think there's any question. I think most Evertonians, if not every Evertonian, will want the Europa League at the end of this season. I think we can all sit back and say, we're not going to get the Champions League this season, so it's important that we aim for that Europa League spot, and yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get there as well. So that, like I said, that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts. I've gone for another 5 at the back. I said before, Marco Silva may well change it. He might. Don't be surprised if there's a flat back 4. Don't be surprised if Mina comes out, if Zuma comes out, if Keane comes out, because he is going to have to change the squad over the next couple of weeks because of fitness and because of the amount of games we play in such a short period of time. We mentioned it in previous videos, we get the shortest break out of any Premier League squad, out of any Premier League team, over this period. So he probably is going to have to change it. But for me, the result against Burnley, the performance against Burnley, playing with Dean and Coleman as attacking fullbacks, having, Mina, Zuma and Keane be so positive, be so impactful, be so fantastic at the centre of that defence, I think Marco Silva will go for it again, barring that everybody, is fit. Given that everybody is fit, I think Marco Silva will go with that again, see how it works again against Brighton, and hopefully we go out and win 5-1. I'm not saying we will, not saying, it's definitely going to happen, but let's hope anyway. Shabba says it'll be a tough ask, but if we can get a result at Brighton, then it will go a long way to easing the pain of the Spurs fiasco. And I'm going to say it again, the capacity fiasco. Can we do it? Yeah, definitely. Like I said, for me, we need the 3 points at Brighton, and I think that's the most important thing. I've put it as the title of this team. Another 3 points needed. I think that's the most important thing for me. We need this 3 points. It's not really a case of, if we get the 3 points, it is what it is. If we don't, we're in a tough period in the season. We're playing a lot of games. For me, we need the 3 points. We really do, because if we don't get the 3 points here, the Burnley game becomes a little bit irrelevant. Not irrelevant because we've caught up the goal difference and we've just won away 5-1, but irrelevant in the case that the 3 points becomes a lot less significant as it would if we beat Brighton tomorrow and then go on and beat Leicester as well. If we can get the 3 points against Brighton, get the 3 points against Leicester, like I said there, that's 9 points going into the new year after Christmas, and that's that's perfect ratio, and that's exactly what we need to go into the new year. So I think it's massively important that we get them 3 points tomorrow. And like I said, the Spurs game, some fans will have forgot it after the Brighton result, after the Burnley result, Me, I haven't, to be honest, because it was an absolute catastrophe. It was a capitulation. I don't know whether I've got that way right, but it was a catastrophe. It was devastating. You know, we absolutely felt a bit. Yes, the Burnley game, we picked ourselves up and we went out and we went and scored 5 goals, and it was a fantastic performance. But we need to carry this form on now to make sure that them run of results, them performances in December, were just, you know, a one-off. They were just a dip in form, and you know that wasn't the tone that we're going to go for the rest of the season. And these games against Burnley, where we win and we get the 3 points away comfortably, we need to make sure they aren't just going to be once in a while and they're going to be the norm. And the results against Spurs are going to be the results that are once in a while and, you know, aren't happening sort of all the time. And yeah, the capacity fiasco, I know you're still fuming over that. You know, again, it's a 50-50 split. I'm sure we'll hear more about the capacity of the stadium and the stadium use in the near future as well. Can we do it? I definitely think we can do it, and I think we should do it, and I think we will do it tomorrow. I think we will get the 3 points. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for my instant match reaction instantly after the game, and the game review as well will be live at about, you know, whatever time the game finishes, probably about an hour and a half after the game, to talk fully about the game, to talk in depth about it, to answer all your questions, to talk with everybody in the live chat about the game, and, you know, hopefully we're talking about another positive one, and hopefully it's another 3 points, because at the end of the day, that's what we need. John says this season won't be a good season for Everton because I don't think he has found his best team yet, and it's the first year in charge. Yeah, you know, like I said, for now, at the minute, it's been good. I think a lot of Evertonians will agree that we've had a good start to the season. Look, we've had some poor results, we've had some poor performances, we've had some devastating results, aka the derby at Anfield. But I think the majority of Evertonians will agree that, look, the games that we've played that we've been fantastic, we really have been fantastic. And I'll say it honestly, I think, you know, that you look at the derby, for example, I know we lost it. You look at some of the other games, the performance that we put in against Liverpool and Anfield was a performance that was good enough to beat any team in the Premier League. And I honestly say that. The performance we put in against Spurs was a performance bad enough to be beaten by any team in the Premier League. So it's a little bit 50-50 at the moment, and it is like that. It's going to be like that in any manager's first season. For me, I think we've had a good season, to be honest, so far. I think we really have. I think Marco Silva's done wonders for this squad, considering where we were last season. And I'm not talking about position in the league. I'm not talking about points in the league. I'm talking about the football we were playing, the feeling around the fans, and, you know, the manager we had in charge. Where we were last season compared to where we are this season, we're light years ahead now, and we are, and, you know, I think that's credit to Marco Silva and Marcel Brands for doing that. And, you know, last season we would have never gone out and put 5 against past the team away from home. We just wouldn't. So obviously we've come strides in there as well. John says, sorry Santa, got me a new phone for the bad text. No problem at all, mate. You know, I hope you had a brilliant Christmas, and sounds like a fantastic one if Santa's brought you a new phone. So yeah, we'll go on to talk a little bit more about the game. Like I said there, Silva said that everybody is fit except, you know, Ademola Lookman, who's still got a slight injury. However, he might be fit, you know. He trained yesterday, obviously, whilst Marco Silva was doing the press conference. He said that Ademola Lookman had trained. He was due to train again today, and then we'll see how he is tomorrow for the game, and hopefully he is fit, because I would really be interested in seeing Ademola Lookman come in and get another chance in this team and get his run of games, exactly like Dominic Calvert-Lewin has. So a little bit more news about Everton just while we're here on this team. Kieran Dowell has gone on loan to Sheffield United until the end of the 2018-2019 season. So basically he's gone on a 6-month loan until the summer. Big good luck to Kieran there. You know, listen, I don't think any Evertonian will doubt, if you've ever watched Kieran Dowell in the under-23s, he's a fantastic footballer. Some of the things he can do are absolutely unreal. He hasn't really lit it up when he's had his opportunity for the first team. He hasn't really, you know, blew anybody's skirts up, but he's still a very young player. He's still very inexperienced in this league, and I think this loan will do him the world of good. And, you know, hopefully he'll come back and he'll be able to make that move, make that transition from under-23s football into, you know, first team regular action sort of week in, week out in the Premier League. So that's going to be it for this game preview. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like. Thank you very much to everybody in the live chat. Thank you very much to everybody watching, if you're watching this as a video afterwards as well. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for the instant match reaction to this game. Hopefully it's another positive one. Hopefully it's another 5-1 victory away from home. Like I said, I don't think it will be, but hopefully it's at least a 3 points. I'll be obviously here for the game review almost, you know, straight after the game as well. Probably about an hour after the game, we'll be doing the full game review live streamed over here as well. So make sure you're around for them. Hopefully Marco Silva's Blues can go out and get another 3 points. Like I said, they're desperately needed 3 points for me. The next 2 games are very winnable games, and games that we need to win. I don't think we have a choice, but we need to make the points up that we've lost, and we need to get over this, you know, bad run of form in December, and to do that we need to get 6 points out of the next 6. If we can do that, we go into January and we go into the new year in a very good run of form, and you know, we can then forget about December and put that behind us and just look towards the future. So yeah, that's going to be doing it for this live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. We're on 163 subscribers, I believe, at the minute. We've absolutely shot up. We're past that 150 mark, so thank you very much for that. Like I said at the start of the stream, thank you very much for all the views on the last couple of videos as well. I mean, nearly 1,000 on the Burnley Instant Match Reaction is unbelievable. 750 on the game review as well. Absolutely unbelievable. So I'll be back tomorrow with the Instant Match Reaction and the game review just after that as well. So make sure you're around on the channel. John says, yeah, not a great film, but I'd rather spend the much on the pints in the pub. The money on the pints in the pub. There's a phone predictive text. Again, Shabba says, got a great left foot as well. And then John says, onto the United stand I go. So yeah, Shabba talking about Kieran Darley with his left foot. He's got an absolute wonder of a left foot, and hopefully we'll get to see him use that in the Premier League, in the first team, maybe even next year, if not the year after, and definitely in the years to come. But anyway, that is going to do it for this team. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like. Like I said, subscribe if you are new. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you join us. Let's hope that Marco Silva's Blues can go out and get another 3 points. Absolutely massive game against Brighton away from home. Going to be a tough one. Definitely, I don't think anybody would argue that. Going to be a tough one, but an important 3 points needed, and hopefully we get that 3 points, and then we can go on to New Year's Day against Leicester at Goodison Park, and then top this sort of post-Christmas run of games off with a little bit of a cherry, because the cake was absolutely wiped away when we got battered by Spurs, and now we're just starting to build it back up, and hopefully we can add the icing tomorrow against Brighton, and then add the cherry against Leicester. Strange analogy, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.